Hi guys, welcome to the Savvy Money Show with me, your host Sean. If you find any of today's entertainment helpful, don't forget to smash the lovely like button. Helps with the YouTube algorithm getting the video out to more people. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and bell notification. You'll be notified when a new video gets uploaded. Yeah, for everyone that has subscribed, thank you very much. You are the guys that make this channel. Thank you for giving up your precious time to watch this video. If you're looking for a free trading platform which will trade your stocks and shares, don't forget to check out the links in the description below. You get a free share worth up to £200. Free trade only requires a £1 deposit, so it's free money. But full disclaimer, you'll get a share, I'll get a share. It's a win-win situation. Now on with the show. We're doing a recap of the week, and we start with China closing schools, colleges in Beijing again as the outbreak grows. I'm sure we've all seen the videos where when kids went back to school, they would spray them with disinfectant, they would make them wash their hands, they'd turn up with masks, they would spray their bags, they'd make sure they were completely disinfected. Now, apparently that isn't enough. We have the Macau experiences. Apparently, when you get there, you've got to go in 14 days quarantine. When you go back to the mainland, you've got to go 14 days quarantine. So it's nearly a month, basically a month of your time lost. Might as well go to Vegas, but you're seeing daily rises in a sparse place like Arizona, where people have, like me, been socially distancing before this, and the Phoenix City Council have made face masks a requirement with a $250 fine if you don't comply. Now, and this is, sorry, I'll try and do this. And this is the actual requirement. When they're within 6 feet of another person who's not a member of their family or household. Oh. Now, that's somewhere where people have a lot of space to go around. What happens when they're in Vegas? We've all seen the scenes where people are bunched up without masks in Vegas. And don't get me wrong, I love Vegas. I had a great time in Vegas. And then you've got the cruise lines. They said it would be a disaster if they weren't sailing by August. It would sink the price. They have voluntarily suspended trips. Why? Because they knew if they didn't suspend it for a month, the CDC were going to come along and say, sorry, you have to wait till November. This way the CDC doesn't impose anything. Come September, they may put it back again, but it's not looking good for the cruise lines. Now we go on to another thing during the week, and it's not now I've already done a video on this, so I'm just going to touch briefly on this, how they reckon it would have been more he would have lost. That the funny thing is, not funny, this isn't anything but funny. The weird thing is, if the guy had contacted Robinhood, they probably would have absorbed it purely because they've done some silly things recently, you know. And if they'd have taken it further, I'd have teamed up with the guy who they tried to charge $9 million, who should have made $9 million from the oil crisis, and taking them to court, saying, okay, you pay me my $9 million that you should have paid me, that you didn't, because your app doesn't deal with any negative values, and out of that I'll pay his $730,000 balance. But if the thought of losing money, they shouldn't have let him, a 20-year-old, leverage this much money. Secondly, if the thought of losing money is going to get you this emotional, and don't get me wrong, everyone hates losing money, then stock market is not for you. It doesn't matter how much you do your research, you will lose money in the stock market. Odds are you will win more often than you lose if you do your research, but there will come times when you lose. Now, I've lost in the stock market before. You just have to absorb your losses and your wins. Make sure your wins outgain your losses. Now, you can't let it bother you, otherwise there's no point going in. It is a sad story, and I feel for the family. Robinhood are apparently making changes to their app, but too little too late. But I think we couldn't have done a recap of the week without discussing it. It was a major point. Now, another thing, Apple to close some stores again due to current conditions. Now, they're not just closing a couple of stores, they're closing lots of stores. And it is crazy, really. And some of the ones in London, they haven't opened yet. They've been closed during all of this. They have still not opened. And if they're not open in London, I can only imagine in the more rural parts they're not open. Now, I had a video taken off by YouTube because I did a what if. I did a series where why the stock market will crash, why the stock market won't crash, and I did hypothetical reasons, and one of the reasons were if 4 companies in the stock exchange crashed, and I said you don't need all 4 to crash, you need one of them to crash, and by ways of sympathy the other 3 will crash because they're all at a high, and people will see one of them in the industry crashing, and then they will think, I've made a huge profit, I'm going to take my money out before the crash, and there'll be panic selling. Apple to delay 2020 iPhone production due to decreased demand. Now, the 5G iPhone is due to be expensive, and I know what you're saying. They're all expensive, but we saw how they do a big jump in price each time. There's a jump to 3G, to 4G, now to 5G. As well as that, whenever there's something they change on it, they don't just bring out a new model with a brand new, and the price, they have like a used and a new price. They jack up the price. So that's what they were planning to do with this. Now, don't know if you remember, iPhone has always been a winner in the smartphone war. The one time it wasn't, was when it delayed bringing out its new phone, and Android beat it to the race, and then people went out and bought the Android one instead, because they wanted to access 4G as quick as possible. Now, I'm not that type of person who has to go out and have the new phone, but I do believe this will affect them when coupled with the store closures. And then we have AMC theatres. Now it says it may not be, of course we saw with the CEO saying, oh, we've teamed up with Clorox, we could make sure it's so clean and all this. And it says may not be able to open its doors again because of significant revenue losses from the pandemic. No offence, but I can't see what the problem is with them opening their doors. It's not exactly like movie theatres were packed to the rafters beforehand, is it? All you need is to have a 1 row distance between each person. You know, I don't know what they're concerned about. It seems insane that people can pack in shoulder to shoulder in Vegas, but they can't go with 1 row distance in the movie theatre. They probably wouldn't even get enough to go 1 row distance. They'd have to go 2 rows. And if you had a family, you'd have like a seat distance between the family and someone else. You know, people would probably socially distance themselves anyway. It's crazy, really. It's almost like they want them to go out of business, or they want them so far on their knees, someone comes in and picks up the land. But still, we all saw where AMC refused to film Universal movies because they released Trolls on demand, because it couldn't be shown in theatres, where other studios said we're not releasing this year, so that the studios could still release. And well, I've got time. For those of you who was asking about Euronav and the tanker stops, why Euronav dived and crashed, I'll be doing a video about that later if you're interested. Let me know in the comments box if you are or if you're not. If there's something you think I missed. Do you think all this of the past week will cause a crash? Do Do you think it will be business as usual? Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't, and thank you for your time. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.